Hey, I'm Brian Kohn of Kohn Knives. I had a customer ask me to remake my very first knife. I'm feeling nostalgic, so let's get into it. This is the first knife I ever made. Yes, I know it is incredibly ugly, not very useful. It is more of a knife-shaped object than an actual knife, but I am so grateful that this little knife started my passion for making knives and has made me go down the path to become a full-time knife maker, which is an absolute dream. I had a customer recently ask me to remake this knife out of an old file, which is what I have here. While I turn this old file into something that looks like this with a minor modification with a lanyard hole down here at the bottom, I will tell you the story of how I made this first knife. Before I tell you all about my first ever knife making experience, let me ask you to hit that subscribe button. It's free, it doesn't cost you a thing, and it helps my channel a lot. Before I was a full-time knife maker, I stocked shelves at Target. Back then, when I was stocking shelves, the guy next to me who I talked to and became good friends with, we were talking about different YouTubers that we watch. And of course, you know, it's Jeremy from Simple Little Life. It was Alex Steele. It was Walter Sorrells. And my buddy Brad, who I'm talking about, basically he decided one day to just be like, hey, let's go ahead and take this weekend and make some knives. So we bought some really old files, and we went to work on these old files with his bench top grinder, which, you know, obviously was not really the ideal thing to use, but hey, we made it work. We made some really rudimentary, you know, knife-shaped objects, and we loved them so much that we used them every single day to open boxes at Target. At the time, our bosses were not the biggest fan of these janky knives that we made, but you know, we basically just still used them anyways, and there's a couple times where we, of course, didn't have sheaths, so we're just putting in our pockets and we're cutting through the bottoms of our pockets, and, you know, it definitely was not ideal, but I fell in love with the process so much that 6 years later, I turned it into my full-time gig, and now I sell knives for a living. I couldn't do it without you guys. So you can see on this original one that I tried to put a hole into the handle, which of course a high-speed steel drill bit is never going to make through a hardened file because, you know, that file is so incredibly, you know, tough to get through. I just assumed that maybe a high carbide bit, which is what I have now, would probably get through it nice and easy. Turns out not so much, so I'm going to go ahead and take these two MAP gas torches and get this tang annealed. Drilling that lanyard hole with the proper tools with that solid carbide bit, man, that was a lot of work, and it's no wonder why on the original one we couldn't get some pinholes through our knives. I'm really not surprised. So that is one of the large deviations I'm doing away from the original first knife. The next one is I'm going to do a hollow grind on the bevels because, you know, this is a knife that is coming out of my shop. I want it to be usable, and because this is so incredibly thick, if I do flat grinds on it, we're going to be looking at like 20-degree bevels, which is just way too obtuse to actually be usable. And I know because there's so much spine thickness on this, if I do a proper hollow grind, it's still going to have a lot of meat behind the edge and will still be able to last for a long time while also being able to, you know, be reasonably sharp. So let's go ahead and get grinding. The really great thing about working with a file like this one is that it's already hardened, and all it needs at this point is to be annealed in your kitchen oven. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take it into my kitchen, get my oven up to 400 degrees, and let this thing bake for 2 hours. Pull it out, let it come down to room temperature, and then put it back in that oven for 2 more hours. That will bring the hardness down to the absolute perfect level so that it'll hold an edge and keep an edge for a long time without being too hard to where it'll chip. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the oven. Thank you guys for watching. If you want a free way to support me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you are the first to see all of my videos as soon as they go live. You can also check out my Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok pages because of course I have to have a TikTok. That's where you will see a lot of my current builds. Also, if you want a knife before Christmas, go ahead, head over to my website at kohnknives.com. I have a bunch of knives up for sale that you can grab right now. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.